Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Mac is back. Back with another video. Hello, the initiated. My name is Marcus Junikala, and today we're having a look at Anamorph by Teletone Audio. You know me, I'm a big Teletone fan, so this is a super exciting one for me. Every time I see them do something, it just gets me nice and tingly. In terms of what this is, let's start with the website as we usually do. And by the way, I've intentionally tried to make this demo as blind as possible so that you get my authentic reaction, and it's more fun for me, and hopefully it's as fun, or at least close to you. So, Anamorph, Surrealist Keys is the subtitle. Price $89. I think you maybe get something if you've had something before from Teletone, maybe some keys. I don't know. That's not a fact. That's not a statement. Just wondering. But yeah, pricing seems to be in the same general ballpark. What does? Yeah, I mean, all the synths seem to be priced the same way. Legibé, Ondine, and Scarbo. So Anamorph is not in the synth category, interestingly enough, on the website. It is in the keys category with Vespertone, Golden Age, Grand, and Postcard Piano. So that's interesting to make as an observation, at least for me. But Anamorph is a hybrid keys instrument, taking you on a surreal journey through a landscape of sonic mirrors, presented seamlessly through an intuitive interface. Interesting. So hybrid keys. I wonder what the sources then are, because I got like a synth vibe from this. So yeah, this is for native instruments, free contact player, compatible with most major DAWs as usual, Ableton, Logic, GarageBand, Pro Tools, Steinberg, FL, Reason, and more. Hey, what about Studio One, which is still so underappreciated? There's a trailer. Haven't watched it. Like I said, I want to go in here as blind as possible. Also, they have tremendous walkthrough videos. Always. I'm sure this is in the same category, if not better than the ones before. They also, if you really want to know like the inspiration of behind this instrument, they have these videos that I think are called Muse. The muse behind Anamorph or something like that. I love those kind of things because it shows that this is artistry to them. There's meaning and purpose behind making this, and it's a labor of love. It comes from passion and it comes from a vision. So I actually would love to see more developers do kind of those background inspiration type videos. Not everyone wants to do them because there isn't that kind of artistic drive behind it, but I love it. So yeah, they get super nitty gritty, detailed, nerdy about a lot of stuff in there. So if you're into that, go check it out. But yeah, just a normal walkthrough video, which I'm sure is far better than what we're doing here, but hopefully we can maybe plug a hole that is not served here. Some example tracks. Then they talk about shape shifting controls. Easily dial in immersion with 3 sound design controls. Character, obscure, and shadow. So this is a concept that they've used before, at least in, for example, Vespertone, which I really like. Just super intuitive, super inspiring. Just tweak it and you're they're just so well designed, both in the usability of it and the actual changes in sound. Super inspiring stuff. Character adds hazy saturation. Okay. Obscure shrouds the sound in modulation effects. Cool. Shadow dial conjures up reverberant dimensions. So I like that they actually just say outright what they do instead of being just super abstract. So saturation, modulation, and reverberation. Okay, cool. Alluring arpeggiator. Okay, that's a really good inclusion. Flexible fidelity. Take your sound from full fidelity to tape warbled, worn out lo-fi. Fantastic. So this is the age control. Some customer testimonies. The Muse of Anamorph is the name of the video behind the inspiration behind this. So $89, free version contact 6.7.1 or later, Mac OS 10.14 or Windows 10, 1.5 gigs of disk space. So super compact, which is again super impressive. When I was actually copying that to my sample drive today here in preparation for this video, I was like, okay, this must be missing something. And I was suspicious when I was downloading it because it happened like that. But again, the size of the library doesn't necessarily indicate anything in terms of what it sounds like. Certainly interesting when it's a more sample-based thing and not just a virtual instrument, which obviously would be more like in the category of a few hundred megs. But yeah, very impressive. Download through Pulse, which by the way, I love. So great choice there. And that's it. Then there's a manual, which we obviously are not going to look at. I always read manuals, but usually afterwards. That's the way I like doing these. All right, so the plan for today is to go through hopefully all of the presets in here, if possible. In terms of what you'll be hearing today is Anamorph in action. I don't add any additional effects, no EQ, no reverb, no nothing. I only have a limiter on the master bus to make the level decent for this video and more consistent. It is set to be as transparent as possible, so there will be minimal coloring, if any. And if you hear any clipping, it will probably be me clipping the limiter, and I'll let you probably know either way if it's not. In terms of going through all presets, I'll basically go based on whether they speak to me right now, right here in the now. So if I get an idea from that, then I'll play longer. If not, then I'll just move on, because we do have a fair amount of them, so I can't unfortunately play absolutely all of them forever. There we go. I've actually updated my links down as well there on the screen. So that's the agenda here. In terms of transparency, Teletone Audio did send me this copy, so first of all, thank you to them for doing that. That being said, all opinions are my own, both in good and bad. I haven't been asked to say anything one way or the other, nor would I ever do that. I think that covers our bases. So when you first open the library, this is the view you get. So, okay, the nice pink purple thing is Anamorph. And you just have all the presets here. A fair bit of them, not an impossible amount, but we do have to be kind of hasty. But this is the folder structure, which is not a folder structure, just a bunch of presets there. That's how it's laid out. Briefly looking at the interface, we have the mod wheel control there to the side, to the left, LFO control on the opposite right side there. Then we have character, obscure, shadow, like they told us. Glide, okay, that's nice. Octaves, okay, so this is part of the arpeggiator, clear enough. Sensitivity, very sensitive indeed, so that's nice to have there. Age, so age controls, or sorry, includes wow, where, and mono. Okay, that's interesting. Sub-frequency mix, very cool inclusion, liking that a lot. And then you have your basic ADSR control. So very clean, simple, clear. I'm liking it. So let's start just with the first preset. We'll go from there. Ooh, nice. Nice pitching going on here. I wonder what this is. I saw somewhere that this is kind of a 70s inspired thing. But in terms of what sound sources this is using, I literally have no idea. Bit of limiter clipping there. The sound does fluctuate in resonance, so we need to find a nice spot with the level so we don't clip. You do get so much scope with these controls. They just change the sound fundamentally quite a bit. Okay, so this is beginning to really tell me a bit more about where this sound, where the sound of this is going to be. And that's actually really, really vibey, really cool. So it stays under control very nicely. With these type of sounds, I'm kind of scared that they're going to run off and become very resonant and uncontrolled. But this maintains playability very nicely. It just keeps being very responsive. And also I don't get those like overly resonant build-ups, which often happens with these type of sounds. But let me tweak things a bit more here. So with character, you get a bit of like a snappy compression control here at the extreme end. So it could be just saturation, because that's what saturation can do. But it sounds like there's a bit of a more like a compression edge there. So it's hard to tell. Very vibey. I mean, if you are looking for sounds from kind of this era, this vibe, I know we've only done 2 presets, but this seems very spot on. That is the limiter. We will have to be riding this quite a bit because it is quite dynamic. I love these kind of sounds. That sounds like a plucky acoustic guitar combined with like a sampler, combined with some weird processing, but it remains remarkably organic, but still clearly captured by technology to some degree. Yeah, this is the shit. I love this kind of stuff. That is the limiter. Let's push the character more so I catch those peaks. It does get quite a bit, maybe a bit too dynamic there at the top. Like, I just feel like it just gives me more of that resonant build up, but it doesn't really add to the sound much. Obviously, you can, again, EQ will fix that, or like an OX sound soothe, but just something worth keeping in mind. So that's a bit too much compression effect. Pull back. Very nice. I actually love the fact that I don't know these source sounds, because they kind of sound like, some early sampling synths. Not super. I'm not a super educated person on those, but not like Fairlight, EMU stuff. I guess maybe some kind of early sampler thing, and then effects on those. I know they said 70s somewhere, but then some of the 80s stuff also sounds kind of similar, depending on the time. Let me actually go back to that preset. I want to see how much, because so far Character, Obscure, and Shadow seem to change the sound far less than in something like Vespertone, where it's kind of introducing synthy elements and just taking it to a different place. These sound more like effect controls rather than just changing the sound. So more fundamentally. I love when effects, especially reverberation, gets into that kind of broken territory. So that's super cool stuff. And that's what Teletone has really nailed, throughout pretty much all the releases. Super soft edge. You have to be really careful with your dynamics here. So if I play really loud, I'm going to clip the limiter, and that's about maybe 10 dB louder than the rest of it. So dynamics are obviously a fantastic thing. I think there are changes in how people want to do it. And obviously many players out there are far better players than I am. So having that control might just be like a good thing in a lot of people's books. But, it comes down to a number of things that I really love. When you stay in that lower dynamic range there, the puffy edge there is just remarkable. And we have the attack here in the ADSR set to short, so that's very interesting how that comes together. I love how it begins to break as you go high up. So often these kind of wows and wheres and the age and the modulation, the lo-fi stuff comes across as just kind of a gimmick in a lot of libraries. It's just not very organic, not very lifelike. You just hear a bit of modulation, a bit of this and that, and it's doesn't feel alive. But here it really does. And I will say also that I'm typically not very fond of these type of sounds, mainly because they don't have the qualities that I feel like they need. They don't have the kind of softness and organicness that I'm looking for. That's not a word, but it is now. And often they just become too kind of bell-like and sort of glassy and resonant. This one does not do that. So I think this is really opening up a whole new, different, realm for me, because I really do enjoy these sounds. Like that it's just so like fluctuating and just it feels alive to me. So, and yeah, so often like these kind of sounds are in many instruments and libraries are just they feel hollow, and just not very refined. Like the effects are way too simple, and so this is actually very, very impressive. There, I really like how the saturation pairs with the reverberation. Like you can hear that snappy edge. Yeah, nice. That is the limiter. You know, like sometimes in those certain moments with my playing, I feel like it interprets the changes in the velocity a bit too extreme. Obviously, could not possibly be my uneven playing, because I don't make mistakes ever when doing anything. And even if I did, I would never admit to that. But obviously, I don't need to admit because I don't make mistakes. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's some of the bumps in level there are a bit unreasonable, even with my shoddy playing. So yeah, we're getting some of those clips. But let's play a bit more. This is a very interesting sound. So it seems like mod for most of these so far is like a filter. And I think in like Vespertone, this was somehow linked to the different layers that they were using. So it's definitely a different approach there, I think, from what I remember. This is a very interesting sound. Kind of reminds me of some, again, like early sampling. This one may be a bit more like a SNES style thing, but yeah, some early sampler doing like a more glassy piano or something else I can't think of. there's some big resonances in there when the reverb comes in. Yeah, that would need some treatment in the mix for my part. Are we? Let me just check that I'm. Yeah, not going in circles with the presets. Again, there we have that piano element, but it's paired with some kind of like puffy analog synth. So yeah, definitely what's clear, it's not trying to give you multiple different fluctuating layers like in Vespertone, for example. It's not trying to change its the soul of the presets or the fundamental quality of it in any drastic way. These are really like more like effects. So yeah. Really cool pairing with the saturation and the reverb. So I guess this is like the dimension of the extent you can change the sound. It is very focused on these effects rather than bringing in like a different type of a layer of a sound. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I used to own this reverb pedal by Death by Audio, the reverberation machine, which I love, and this kind of gives me a bit similar vibes there. I think here this is kind of like the chain is going in order here, I believe, from saturation to modulation to reverb. So I think the distortion in reverberation machine comes after the reverb, which is really cool. I love that kind of stuff because it really creates a lot of broken, crazy sounds. Not 100% sure how this is, what the architecture here is, or the signal chain, but kind of reminds me of that similar vibe. I love that pedal. I had to sell it because I just couldn't interface that with my work process a ton, so I wasn't using enough, and I hate having stuff that I don't use. Plus, I need the money, so. I like how when you play monophonic or, less stuff at the same time, it has a very clear sound, and then when you play more at the same time, it doesn't just like crazily explode the sound into a massive resonant mess. It seems to really like hold together very nicely, even with the changes. And it sounds to me like it's under the hood, realizing that and somehow leveling things better. the new summer hit. I'm really liking this sound, by the way. And hear how the saturation, the distortion plays with the reverberation. Very nice. Let's push this. So we got it, the sound innately is distorting. And notice, even if we pull the shadow all the way back, we still have an ambience. Like, it's not completely dry, which I think is a fantastic artistic decision. Like, this is clearly meant to have a style and a soul. You know, if you want to make it super dry, then tough luck. I think you can probably go under the hood and do something about it. I don't know. But this is clearly, like, it's still intended to have a vibe and a sound. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, really liking this. This is a interesting mix so far of sound sources. Some are clearly like more synthy, some sound like early sampling stuff. Here I would want to make this a bit softer with the reverb. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That ADSR control seems very nicely fine-tuned, because it really, first of all, it does exactly what I'm after, but very, very soft, pleasant sounding. Very cool stuff. We're still in A in terms of the preset, so probably need to start being a bit more brutal about this. Very, very, very cool. Also, when you press the sustain there in the middle like I did, it kind of flushes it out into this reverb. There's something special going on there, because it just doesn't like sustain all the notes and kind of overwhelm the engine and just distort. So it kind of does a specific thing, kind of takes a part of it and flushes it out. That's very nice. Very, very cool sound, very vibey, simple, but again, paired with these effects, a good sound source, great programming there. Very, very nice. Horrible playing, but yeah, bit of a church vibe. Yeah, pretty interesting imaging stuff happening here. It's just like you can feel the kind of the blob hit your face, and obviously it's moving in a beautiful way. That is so visceral. Like I can touch that blobby thing there. Beautiful sound. The percussive element there is super tangible, kind of a wet slab of wood. Yeah, that's what it is officially. And it's just, yeah, super simple, but so brilliantly treated. And it really comes alive through the effects processing here. Kind of going into the more cinematic realm here. Beautiful, just stunning design there. Processing, very, very on point. Love this kind of stuff. Very difficult to pull off. Oftentimes you can find like a simple sound, put some effects on it and try and go for this kind of sound, but it has like that puffiness, that soft edge, and again it doesn't get overbearingly resonant. I wonder if they listen to Jim Guthrie. I think this is something he'd like. It gets a lot louder with the reverb coming in. Very nice. very nice, that puffy edge, that attack. That's not only like controlling the ADSR curve, it just pairs very nicely with everything else in there as well. Oh, that's so good. I mean, ooh. All the dynamics there are spot on. This could genuinely make me cry if I wasn't filming a video and I would fight if I wasn't fighting back. That is just awesome. I want to push the reverb a lot more to see how it changes. Yeah, awesome. Moving on. Very interesting sound. Obviously like a very melody, but then gets super reed, distorted, resonant at the top. Yeah, I mean, these inclusions really kind of open up this to me in the sense that it's clearly a selection of whatever falls into the category of the inspiration of this. It's not like a selection of this and that instrument. It's a selection of many instruments which serve this certain vibe, this certain vision. So, and this is why I love Teletone, because that obviously they do have libraries that are very focused on a certain set of instruments, but there is always like a vision, an artistic vision, a sound that they want this library to serve and be able to, you know, do. And here is like a more extreme version of that in terms of what is included in here. So yeah, very nice. But this, yeah, in terms of sounds in here, pretty broad scope. Obviously, they all fall under a certain style, but still. Nails that sound. If you're after that sound, it feels so nice to play, because I can feel the soft edge of it. It doesn't feel, again, super harsh or sort of janky or clanky or harsh to play. Like, I feel like I have a connection to that sound when I'm playing this. I feel the soft edge of it. Comic Sans. Finally, I know what it sounds like. Sounds about right, the way it looks. Really liking these keys that are in the interesting piano category. Again, so that pleasant edge, that analogness, that's very difficult, hard to find. So many libraries have these sounds, but they're super like rigid, hollow sounding. So this is actually very, very, very pleasant to play and listen to. And there again, with the sustain playing, it just gives a nice wash blend to it. It doesn't make it just pile up on you. really awesome. Obviously, the delay gives it that. Let me just check that I'm not missing any controls here. Harmonizes beautifully as long as you play the right things, but very cool sound. Yeah, beautiful interplay between the reverb and the sound. Like, that sound to me was begging for more of that reverb. When I added it in, the interaction is beautiful. It's like a conversation between the instrument and the reverb. Anyway, yeah, really cool. Yeah, these ARPs are often like super simple sounds, but beautiful processing. These level fluctuations are a bit big. And again, that's too much. Very nice. Makes me like these type of sounds that I would never go for, but they are processed so well and in such a pleasant way that it just makes them feel and sound really, really good. Like phasing, phasers are a particularly difficult category. Most of them sound pretty. I mean, most phasing being done, it doesn't sound very good, but it can sound super, super sweet with the right equipment and with the right taste, the right place and time. So like, this is more example, like this is definitely more resonant than some of the other presets. Like there with the reverb, the resonance builds up too much with the source sound, so I need to treat that a bit differently. Absolutely love that sound. This kind of stuff, 10 out of 10 for me, just right down my alley. Simple, spacious, broken, wobbly, but so evocative. they really nail on many of those ARPs. That kind of I would put that in the 80s category of sounds, but that was the limiter clipping. Oh, I was muted. Yeah, I love these kind of sounds. It's kind of like a short flute sampled and then processed. Very, very nice. Again, loving this. I mean, they must know Jim Guthrie. I mean, surely. Yes. Beautiful. I love that kind of stuff. Again, here we have too much resonance, too much build-up to my taste. To pull back the limiter here. I'm gonna have to be more go through these faster, so you know I'm only gonna stick around if I feel something that I want to be playing, because we're only at G here. Do I even want to know how? Okay, it does maybe get a bit less many of them as we move along. Again, that has a nice, puffy edge to it, which sounds very pleasant. Not a sound I would typically go for, but that feels good. Like that, has a very focused presence. Limiter. Again, very, very cool. very cool Mellotron style thing here. Let's try push the level a bit more. Yeah, super fun. Very, very nailed that sound, especially in that range. It's that kind of is it called like a tacky piano? I don't remember. Again, right down my alley. Let's get the level here. Very cool. Not a very good idea of what I played, but very nice percussive transient element. Again, super impressive transient response there. I really like what the sustain does there on the ARPs. Kind of like very, very, very nicely designed control there. Again, no surprise that Marcus loves this kind of stuff. Actually reminds me of like a SNES era type of sampling. Has that kind of simplicity. Cool. Yeah, these piano ones are really solid. Yeah, I mean, we already have Golden Age Grand and Postcard Piano, which are fantastic, but it's just, can you have too many of these? Like, this is such a good sound. Beautiful distorting resonance there in the reverb. Ooh, beautiful. Oh yeah. Some really nice digital whatever that is, pitching going on there. Very nice. Very nice. You can do some really cool stuff with that. Yeah, that goes straight in the sampling category there. Or sampler. Yeah, really cool. Yeah, beautiful imaging, beautiful effects processing, simple sounds, but slightly wonky, moving around, just brilliant. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, very, very broken. That already gets into the territory of like the sound is so messed up that it begins to affect your sense of pitch there. So it kind of begins to play with the harmonies that you actually want to play, because it takes on a different kind of a quality. Yeah, again, fantastic. Great source sounds. Bring that lo-fi quality, beautiful effects processing, very interesting ideas there. And again, there I like that it evokes something in me. You know, I have to do something on its terms, which creatively puts me in a different place. And I, you know, wouldn't have landed on that kind of an idea probably through any other means. So I love it. Again, that kind of sound I would never go for in terms of its kind of core quality, but they're so well done that it's super pleasant to listen to. Again, here is where the resonance gets to the level where I would have to do something about it in a mixed sense. Yeah, really loving those kind of retro, simple sounds. Really don't know what to do with those kind of sounds other than play some cowboy piano music. Tokyo Sauna. Beautiful sound, has that immediate capturing presence and balance. Again, their resonance gets a bit much. beautiful piano. Super, super cool. Again, very nice sound. I don't usually go for these kind of sounds because I feel like they are missing the so-called analog edge. They don't quite come across as pleasant and puffy enough. So I always keep, looking for those sounds, which are definitely rare. So here, again, the profile of it is so pleasant that it's a pleasure to just listen to and play with. Really digging that. You can do cool stuff. Even at this, like a more dry version of that, super cool sound. Very cool. Was that the last one? No. Again, there's that pleasant puffy edge. Okay, we went through all of them. God damn. So overall, again, super impressed. Very, very, very much liking what they did here. Very much like a expected Teletone delivery. Obviously, I knew intentionally very little going into this in terms of what this is and was. Again, like the source sound selection is probably far wider than anything else they have offered so far. Like there are pianos, there are sample, like clearly sort of early sampler captured sounds. Then you have synthy elements. We have some mallets here. What else did we have? Pianos, a bunch of stuff like that. So again, very pleased to see that kind of artistic approach, like having a selection of things that pool into this one basket of sound types that they're really after. In terms of, again, the 3-knob system here is quite different to like Vespertone. These are not bringing layers in there, but rather seems more like a more straightforward effect approach. That obviously being said, they're very well paired, very vibey. They play with one another a lot, especially the saturation and the reverb. So again, all of the effects processing, all of the kind of sound designing from that perspective, again, is super stellar. And I love that this has that kind of vibey, lo-fi, wonky, but yeah, more than anything, vibey aspect that Teletone Audio brings to everything that they make. This clearly also has a lot of utility in when you're chasing for sounds for a very specific era. This is not my strength by any means. In fact, very glaring weakness. I'm very bad at naming genres and eras and times period. But yeah, some of that, like Twin Peaks stuff comes to mind, and Jean-Michel Jarre, some of the synthy stuff from that. Then you have kind of these 80s synth vibey elements there, a bit of like old school true synth wavy type of sounds, and yeah, many of these sampled early sampler type of things. So again, go to the Muse video of this to really know what this is doing, and don't get my half-baked uneducated summary of what these sounds are. But yeah, very cool selection of things. And so yeah, the scope is pretty broad. You get a lot of different kind of source sounds that all serve that kind of a same atmosphere building. What else did I want to touch on that? Maybe going through some of my favorites. I absolutely love the pianos in here. They are really good and really worthwhile considering, even if you have Golden Age Grand or Postcard Piano. They are so good. You can probably get, I'm not sure, I would need to do a side-by-side comparison. Maybe some of them you can do similar-ish, but I'm not sure if you maybe could. Yeah, pianos, absolutely fantastic. I love the sort of Baroque and sparse, simple, synthy sampled sounds. It's just super vibey, very atmospheric. And yeah, I mean, some of the synths were sort of more cinematic. Not too many of them, or not very many of them. They were super impressive. And yeah, many of the synth ARP elements also are really hard hitting and sound very good. They clearly nailed when they went for a specific sound, and this speaks volumes about their ability in capturing these sounds, but also processing them and producing them. They really nailed these different core sounds from different places and eras. And yeah, what I wanted to say earlier was also that many of these sounds are sounds that I wouldn't typically even go for, because in other libraries or virtual instruments, they sort of come across as too hollow and empty sounding and too resonant. But here we get that pleasant quality to them. They, I know the word analog is thrown around a lot, but I think the main thing that we are chasing with that is there like a pleasant quality to it that really sits nicely with us, and they really achieve that here. That kind of puffy, warm edge to those sounds is nothing comes to mind that delivers it quite like that. So if I were to use those kind of typical more classic sounds, known specific sounds, I would definitely reach for this to do that. So yeah, I think that about summarizes my thoughts on this. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you have this at home or at your studio, what are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear those. And if you have thoughts on this video, well, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Finished.